Hello, Brian here. We are going to go through the current end of year status with crypto as Sunday's the last day of 2023. So I thought, why not do current status of the most talked about, most active coins out there? So let's start with the granddaddy of them all. We've got this big run up, as you know, of Bitcoin since mid October, 26 to 41,000. Will it keep pumping up? You can see here the standard trend is just it goes up, kind of goes sideways, and then it goes up again. So as I've said before, I think that's going to get more common as I think Bitcoin's going to get manipulated with price over the next from here on out as BlackRock's invested into the majority of the miners out there, just no different than how they approach the ESG. So that's my take, and the same could be said probably for Ethereum as well. It won't be as free as you'd want, and then you look at the performance of gold. It should be doing a lot better than it currently is, and it's probably suppressed on artificially. All right, so that is Bitcoin, and I'm constantly using this profit factor for this Ichimoku strategy that I use. And it's important to understand that this profit factor is important because I right now trade on the hour because I don't like to miss opportunity. So it's not as strong just due to the fact you can see how it flatlines versus, let's say, a 4 hour chart. Um, it's a little stronger, or on a daily actually. So Bitcoin's not the strongest out there. If you got anything, type it up. All right, so that's Bitcoin. So let's go in order. And then the next one's Ethereum. Really, I thought Ethereum would start to move up here on the 27th. You can see it's starting to drift back again. I can't really comment on that. It's similar to Bitcoin, but sometimes they can outperform Ethereum. Sorry, I can outperform Bitcoin sometimes, but mostly Bitcoin generally leads. And it's just not as strong as it could be or should be. But we'll just leave it at that. The other one that's been doing pretty good lately is Polygon or MATIC. You can see here it's really taken off and it's still drifting there, and it's got a good profit factor on an hourly basis of 1.2 versus the 1 that I showed you on Bitcoin. So currently, even though it's coming down, it's just got probably more momentum in the market, and you can always tell right here um, based upon how much it falls. So the lower that drawdown, the stronger the coin is. So Polygon's starting to move up, but it could end up the same way as Ethereum. Hard to say. Okay, Solana is the big one, and as I was saying earlier, so if this is MATIC, that's a 1 hour. If I show you the 1 hour on Solana, um, the drawdown is not as severe. Let me just give you a comparison between that and Polygon or MATIC. Um, just use Coinbase. So you can see it's fairly in line, but just short term, you can see that MATIC has outperformed Solana on a 5 day. Yeah, you can see the big performance there difference between MATIC and Solana 1 month. So as long as you're able to know these coins and when they outperform one or another, and this is a good thing about TradingView, you can just compare as easily as I'm showing you here. So there's some advantage there. One other coin that I thought was moving was Doge. It doesn't look like it. You can just see the volatility, the extreme moves there. There's not a lot of momentum. That's why it's not a really top coin anymore. Um, Avalanche is supposed to potentially break out. You can see there that little green there. So let's see on the 1 hour. It's still kind of going through a bottoming process. Once that bottoming process completes, then you can start to see it spike. And Bitcoin didn't really descend too badly. Well, let me show you on the 1 hour here. So again, it's kind of retaining itself, but you can see all these false positives there. My little system took a trade here and made a little profit, but we're always missing out because keeping the system on and all that. But we'll see how it goes over the next day or so as I'm closely watching it now, the little trading system I got. So what do we got? Still, I've not talked about gold. Like if you look at, let's say, gold versus Bitcoin, just to compare, because gold is starting to move again, and I've put that up about my previous video. So if I look at Coinbase here, just as a comparison, you can see still Bitcoin just decimating gold by a 10-time return on a 5-day. Actually, wow. Let me take that back. So that's a 5-day view. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's a 5-minute view. Let's see here. This doesn't make sense. So we want that's the thing about switching over from, yeah. So you can see the difference there between, let's say, a 1 month view. See, it switches over to 30-minute again. So let's see if I can get it. So this is going back quite a bit. Let me try a 3 month here. That's an hourly basis. So this goes back to October. So Bitcoin's still performing much better than gold. Most crypto like Mara, Riot, down today 10%. Is this a tax loss end of year harvesting thing? I'm not sure, Hitch. As you can tell, I'm really focusing more on the crypto itself. What I can tell you, they probably going to get hit harder. The miners get hit harder when Bitcoin doesn't perform, so they're more sensitive. Let me just go over the Bitcoin here. We can do a comparison. Let's say year to date of Marathon, just as a comparison. That's a good point, and you want to see if there's any form of relationship there. So, yeah, you can see easily, as you said, that Mara, wow, just decimating Bitcoin itself. So, yeah, I would say that's an end of day because you're on your last day of trading. That would totally make sense, and it'll bounce back probably early next week. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Tax harvesting for end of year. Um, yeah, and that's a good stock as well. And I think the other one is Riot as well. So these are the miners, but those are good discoveries that you've made earlier sessions, it's earlier streams. But you can see like just Marathon just took off when Bitcoin took off. So doing something different, I guess, than the other miners. But yeah, that's very possible. And then also you might as well look at Coinbase. I think that's a fair comparison as well. See how Coinbase is done. Coinbase is done pretty good there, but you can see the declines. But people seem to be piling into more Marathon for the performance. Another one that might be of interest is Arc as well. So there you go. Arc has done pretty comparable to pretty, actually, you see right there, you get better performance with Arc. My system flags Arc, and I've traded from time to time. I had profitable trades, but I need to work on my exit positions so it'll hold longer onto the trade and open positions. So I'm going to work on that, and that will help my and profit end. The entries are very good, but the exit's still a big problem. But once I fix that, that'll work on. Well, I can do it also for crypto as well. I can watch crypto on a hourly basis and flag exits when I need to with this new process. I want to apply for both the equity and the crypto space. Is there anything else you want to add on this? But yeah, I mean, thankfully you've made that huge discovery, but it looks like uh, Marathon will take off. But the thing is, the volatility is proven. So this is year to date, was it? Yeah. So year to date, um, Arc is a little more stable. It doesn't have those crazy. Actually, added today for that diversity. So Arc might be a better one to get into because it includes Coinbase as well. I'm not a fan of Coinbase the exchange, but in terms of data, in terms of investing, should be okay. No problem. No problem, Hitch. I think you're on the other one as well from earlier today. That was a rushed one. Happy New Year as well. Is there anything else you want to add or talk about at all? You've been on the latest one. How do you keep up with when I do streaming? It's pretty impressive. I do it all weird hours, and you're always there. Pretty impressive. Anything else you want to add at all? I'll do it going once, twice, three times because I got nothing else to add. Great stream. IMO coin might get the ETF. So my opinion. Oh, so hang on. In my opinion, are you talking about Coinbase? Might get the ETF. Are you also referring to ARC? Because that also includes uh, the MicroStrategy. So I'm just going to pull up Yahoo Finance here. They've got a great tab here, which I like under, which I haven't seen at all. I'm not sure if you know about this, but I don't know if you I don't know if you know about this, but if you go ARC, so any ETF this applies to. So under here you can see holdings. So you can see the top holdings for ARC. So you can see Coinbase, Roku, Tesla, Zoom. They usually buy and sell. Yeah, doesn't look like they have. They don't have MicroStrategy. What was? Do you know this? Um, but yeah, you can see like with Coinbase, they drop like I said before. I think that they've done insider trading when it comes to Coinbase from ARC. They just get the signal when to sell, and something bad happens, the Coinbase, and then a few days later, ARC goes back and buys back Coinbase. So I've seen that a couple times. But these are okay stocks. I think Tesla is going to get hurt a little bit as well. But let me look at. I can't remember the MicroStrategy symbol or ticker. MSTR. Yeah, I've seen this too. But you can see that one got hit as well. So they're so tied into the performance of Bitcoin um, right here. So uh, that's a big hit for MicroStrategy. But year to date, that's pretty good overall. So yeah, maybe MicroStrategy, but that's pretty expensive as well for some, including me. Yeah, the news is important. Um, so Marathon's pretty good, $23. So that's a no risk trade. Usually, what happens with my system with crypto, it usually if it likes crypto, it'll just either go into BTCO as an ETF or go into ARC. And out of all the ones I've seen, is the best one's ARC. One thing I should mention, a lot of people might not know about this because everyone asks like, how do you forecast all these stocks? But what I can do here is I'll just clean this up. If you're looking for cycles of Bitcoin, this is pretty cool. Let me pull up another chart here of Bitcoin. When I was on the other previous platform, this was a uh, premium, uh, premium strategy, but this is free on Motorwave. You pay 3,000 plus for this strategy. So we are dealing with her cycle. So let me show you this. This is very similar. Um, Fibs, I used to play a lot in Fibs, but I just found it really. Um, tough. Let me, yeah, here. So I have to clean up these charts again. Bear with me in a minute. So, okay, so I'm going to do this again. So we want indicator, we want Hearst cycle. I think Lazy Bear was a good one. Yeah, so that's not it. I'll find it. Yeah, yeah, I'll take a look at the Elliott wave, but this one's a lot more predictable. I've never used it a lot, but see if it's this one. Yeah, this one right here. It's the diamonds you want. So basically, what you're looking for, with what I showed you earlier, let me load that in as well, just to layer it. So that was the Lazy Bear one. Okay, so what we've got here are the typical. You would be able to see the cycles, like the ellipses, and they would point out all the different diamonds. But these diamonds are the most important thing. So what we're looking for are the reversals, right? So right here, in the future, the next big pivot on a daily basis is January 14th. Okay, this is the most accurate I've ever seen it. So it's using traditional Her cycles, that's optimized for traditional trading cycles. No matter what it is, it's universal. So what it's predicting here is that we've got a next reversal here for 5 bars, um, plus plus the range. But what I would pay attention to are the green diamonds. So this one right here is it's expecting. If you saw the cycles, uh, like you see what I mean. So right here is the next big reversal is going to be yeah, January 14th. So that's going to be the next big move. So let me put it up on a weekly. So here is the next big move thereafter on a weekly basis will be uh, June 25th. So here we've got April. So that's when the next halvening happens. So I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with this indicator, but usually that's the big one you want is the green. You can see how that works because here it got it right. Right, started to move up. Here it was a little early. You can see that big spike there. So this one was exactly accurate, right? This one not so much, but this is the best indicator I've ever seen. Now, I'll pull up BTC and we can check. You said the Elliott waves. Um, okay. So we get rid of these again. How long have you been working on TradingView, Mr. Hitch? Okay, so let's do the Elliott. So with the Elliott, uh, this one's good. Lux Algo is usually the best. Okay, no, we want Elliott from Lux Algo. Okay, so there we go. So is that I'm not sure if that's a buy entry right there. Short, short, looks kind of accurate. In fact, um, it's not too bad. 1 year. Well, you're doing pretty good. Document your chart with callouts. So, like a diary, it makes you learn. Gotcha. Yeah, I noticed a lot of people do that. Um, yeah, that's something I should do. I'm actually switched over um, to video streaming because I get more follow. Like I don't really care about the boosts and likes. I care about the video streams for to build up followers. I have other places I document on my website, which I'm not going to mention, but you can find that in the signature of my profile. So that's where I document. All right, so the Elliott wave's not too bad, but I don't know. Let me know what you think of this Hearst cycle. This is really good. Now, in terms of the Fibonacci, which I'll apply, let me just pull up, or no, yeah. So I'll get rid of the Elliott wave here. Okay. So I'll keep these signals in here for my Ichimoku. I also count the waves. 5 is the average. That's what a lot of people use. But let me just show you the ones that I have that work really good with Fibonacci. So with Fibonacci is very good for timing. Let's see if this is the better one. I go by the number of followers. Yeah, I've seen this one. Fibonacci. I can't remember which one it is. Fibonacci level, Bollinger, zone toolkit, extension replacement, pivot. Let's see if this is the one we can use. Do you know which is the best indicator for Fibonacci? Auto fib. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so here's the thing. So we're on a daily time frame. Okay, so you got your Fibonacci. It's been in the basement for quite a while. This right here, in this range here is usually your classic entry. So you're going to wait until your entry. So in here, based upon comparative to the Hearst cycle, it'll kind of tell you when to get in, and it'll tell you when it reverses, right? So you would have caught this upswing. Here in the Fibonacci, if you're going to do the classic entry, this is usually where you go in. And the problem here is now you are at this range, and most people would say, okay, I'm going to dump it. And then they wait for it to come back down. That's how I would kind of perceive it, right? So this can be very misleading because it's not factoring in macro. And because of that, it's usually the macro drives everything versus just classic technical indicators. So you can be thrown off by this quite easily. Okay, so let me get rid of that. I've tried very hard to work with Fibonacci. So the other one that works pretty good is just RSI. Let me just see here. No. So let me find a simple RSI strategy. Yeah, there are lots of fibs can use low to high. Yeah, those are the modified Fibonacci indicators. I'm just talking about pure Fibonacci. So you can see here, right here. But usually people go in at around 40, 50 for entry. And you can see here, once it goes in that green, then usually, and it works pretty good, is you get out somewhere in and around here. Once you start to overheat, and then once it crosses back, you can see right here where it goes red, which is pretty good for automation. If you can get the source for this, and then dump it. And as long as that descent keeps happening, then yeah, you're going to go back to 40 and you re-enter. The problem is that a lot of people hang on too long, and that's what I'm finding. I've talked to many wealthy traders, and usually they'll set for each position once it hits a certain level, like let's say with RSI, when it goes to kind of, we'll call it overheat over 40 or 80, that's when they get out because they know the market with RSI is very accurate, and then they dump it and then they wait it out, maybe re-enter back around 60 and go back in. So RSI is pretty good for that. The other one that's really good for perfect entries and exits, this is the best one, is your, let's say, an SMA cross, right? So let's say this one. So you can see right here, that's your entry. But yet these have not crossed the slow moving, crossing over the entry. It will then give you your sell signal. So right here, you've got your buy, and right here, you got your entry, right? But here you can see there's your entry right there around 40, between 40 to 50, boom. And then you can see here your sell, right? So that's pretty good. So try this. You see it's a modified stochastic. I haven't really played a lot with that one. With which one is it? CCI. Um, but this one's the most reliable. The SMA cross entry. That's the best one. Very simple and very classic, and it works. And it doesn't lag. That's the important part. It does not lag. Because once you start looking at ones that lag, then you're going to get false positives, and that's what you get with the Ichimoku. Okay, so you want me to take a look at the CCI? Okay, hang on here. CCI. Okay, CCI here. Yeah, I just don't know which strategy to go with. So crossover. Let's see in that one. So you can see here. Yeah, see when I say it lags right here, because right here it says sell, and it's the rally continues. So I find that those are very typical uh, false flags, as I like to call them. Another one. Let me see here. I'll clean this up here. But RSI and mass over. Oh, okay. CCI wood. Okay, and indicator. CCI wood. This one right here. There's quite a lot of these. Okay, I'll choose this one. So you can see here entry. What would you define as a sell right here? That's looking pretty good, but the whole point here is that you would miss out on that dip, so it's never accurate, and that's a pretty big down, like a down move for a day. So yeah, you have to watch these legs. See right here, I'm assuming this one caught perfectly. This one caught. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I guess that's where you're assuming the entry. Yeah, lots of false positives here. That's how I'm assuming things look. Let me check out this other one. So I'll get rid of that one. Okay, get rid of that. Let me try another one you got here. Indicator. IMACD. Yeah, I do like inverse MACD. I reverse MACD, impulse. Oh, impulse MACD. Impulse. I'm going to assume this one. Actually, that looks pretty good. Uh, yeah, you can see right here. That would probably be your cell right here, I imagine, with the blue. So what I do is, it's not bad here. The cell right here. I'm not sure on the signaling. See right here, if that's your cell, yeah, it lags, and that's on the daily basis. So if I was to go, I don't know, hourly, let's say, you'll see the lag. So I'm going to assume right here is your. So right, is this what I'm? Is this the signal line right here? So no, actually, it's not too bad. The cell I don't know because it's already in descent, so you got to be careful there. Yeah, calculus. I remember. Yeah, it also depends on the math, as you say. But when I did a huge study of a couple hundred indicators on the other platform, what I noticed is lag, and I'll just show you again with the SMA cross. The SMA cross is what really you won't see the lag at all. Uh, mm, which one was it I had? Entry. Okay, we'll keep it really simple. So you can see here buy, sell, and it near perfect, right? Right in there, near perfect. Uh, so here's your long, but boom. So that's wrong there too. Now you would probably need to combine it with like an RSI. Let's see here, RSI. Uh, where's relative? This one right here is good. This one does not lag either. So when you look at here, let me do it. 4 hour might be better time frame. So you can see here, right here is your entry, right there. I think is that where the cross is happening? No, it'd be all right. Yeah. See right here, the cross. That's perfectly timed. It's perfectly timed on the 4 hour. And you can see what happens is when they start to widen, that means you're making more money. Okay. So you see some consolidation, but it's still positive. Hasn't quite crossed yet. And look what happens. Boom. And that's when you get out. So this may start to cross again. Actually, it did cross. That's your sell right there. I think there's your classic buy right there. And it's still profitable just on that. So when you time it, the RSI is not really working. It breaks down. Um, Getting in early is so important to your risk reward to easier. I only buy low and sell high. Uh, okay, so here's what we can do. That's important. And how do you know the risk reward? That's where the strategy tester comes in, as I said. So what I can do is I will go SMA cross, okay? And now what I'm going to do is I want to show you the process with the coding. So we've got, um, which one did I go with? SMA cross. So that's an indicator. So we need a strategy. Okay, so let's try RSI SMA crossover. So we could try that. See here, you get the source code, right? So there you go. Okay, so it's going to load up the source code here now. Okay, this is in PineScript. This is what matters. Okay, so what you want to look at is I'll create a working. Okay, so now I'm going to clean up the charts here. I'm going to clear up all this stuff as best as I can. But what you want to look at, you don't need, this is the back testing hitch. This is important. So you have your strategy here. You have, in this case, the 4 hours is the best time time frame because it works. So just shown that to you. This is what matters when it comes to this strategy. So we have here, even though it's a low percent winner, profit factor is not that strong. But here is the important part on the max drawdown and the average trade. So this is how you're able to gauge on the back testing. You're looking for pretty well the profit factor. So if I was to pull up the paper trader, okay, so yeah, this strategy is not that good, so I don't like it. Let me pull up another one. This is what really matters, and I've done this enough in the other platform. I just don't want to mention. I don't know if I'll be breaking terms by revealing potential competition, which is against the TradingView rules. Anyway, so let me pull up another strategy here. So we want a simple SMA cross, right? This would work, but it's an indicator. Now we need a strategy to show the how effective it is. Let me pull up this one. I'll pull up the source code as well, make it working. I'll get rid of, clean up the charts again. Hopefully this is a much better strategy. So this is already better than the previous strategy. And looking at the calls, yeah, it looks better. Here's a short right there. Yeah. So this is pretty good actually. And then when you factor in, see, the max drawdown's a lot lower than the prior one. And the average trade, $48, which is pretty good. I do code in Pine, yep. But I just want to show you the importance of this to do the full automated trading and take full advantage of it. So that's your signals here. So this is much, much better than the prior one. And these work really good. So if you're able to fully automate this, which you can't, unfortunately, on TradingView, but it can generate the signals for you, that's what matters. So the other thing you want to do is the time frame as well. So let's say if you do a daily, so the profit factor goes up even better, and you can see that the accuracy of the longs, the indicators are much better, right? And if you want to make even more money, all you got to do is trade, let's say, on a weekly basis. And well, it's the same. So your profit factor is what you're looking for in your results. So if your profit factor remains relatively high, that's pretty good. This is for this particular strategy. Okay. And you can make okay money. Now, this is just with Bitcoin. Okay. But if I was to show you the difference between this and Solana, it's vast. Your returns would be way different because this is a good set of scenarios. Let me just see if I was to trade on let's say on an hourly basis, if it changes. See, if I go on a 1 hour, it goes down. So your profit factor goes down. This is so critical if you're going to do automated trading within TradingView and PineScript. This profit factor is what really long-term trades. And the other thing is you want to have your max drawdown ideally below 15%. Okay, that's important. Now, you go, okay, is Bitcoin okay to trade under these scenarios? You go, maybe, but let me show you Solana now. So here, this is just an indicator. Okay, if you could find a her cycle strategy, you'd be like doing great. But what you can do is, let me get rid of it and show you what you could do if you know PineScript. Okay, this is again the coding end of it. It's really important. So if I load in the her cycle, right, and if I can find a strategy, This is the one we used prior. Um, see, we need to find a strategy to do the back testing. So let me go with this prior. But this is important here. Here's the source code. Okay. And there's a source code for this. But we want the diamond one, right? So the her cycle diamond, let me just see if we can find that. Her cycle diamond, Hertz cycle diamond. Anyways, let me just go with this one here, right? So if we look at that, and if I try to add to chart or update chart, okay, and if I pull up the strategy tester, see, in order to use a strategy, I have to have a strategy, not an indicator. That's really important to understand. So let's go back to the other one here. The we were using what strategy? The SMA cross strategy. Okay, so if I go back to what was it, daily? Okay, and left this running. Okay, you can see that profit factor of 1.66. That's a very reasonable max drawdown of 15%. That's key. Okay, but look what happens when I go. Okay, let me get rid of these indicators here. Okay, so we're clean, right? So now what I'm going to do, I am going to load in that same strategy, the SMA cross strategy, this one that we used. Okay, so I am now going to change this to Solana because we know Solana did 3 times better than Bitcoin, right? So let me just go with Coinbase for the data. I'll go back to daily. Okay. So you can see already that the profit factor is much higher for Solana. Let me just add this to the chart. So there's the, see right here? If I go, well, let me just walk you through it. Right here, we've got our entry, right? Right somewhere in here and around here. And there's been no sell at all on a daily basis, right? So this would have classically stayed in position. This position would have stayed open, right? And we also know that the profit factor would have been a lot higher. And look at the drawdown so far, 0.06. So now we're on a daily time frame. So if I go year to date, so the profit factor max drawdown still nothing. But this is like automate this, and you're pretty well guaranteed to make money. Okay, and you're up 106. Well, let me do it this way. I'll compare it to Bitcoin. Okay, just to show you the difference. It's huge. Okay, so here's Bitcoin for year to date, 99% return. That's pretty good. But look at Solana, 350%. So if you wanted to automate this strategy as is daily, okay, you'd still be in profit and let this thing run nonstop. Okay, just to give you an example, a guy started with $5,000 and somehow he ended up right now like over 1.2 million or something. You must have used leverage of some kind and just stayed all in Solana because you can see it's stayed in profit. And in actual fact, as it widens, that's where you're making actually more money because as the fast and slow moving averages widen, that means you're making more money. Once it starts to get tighter, as you can see here, as it consolidates, yeah, your opportunity declines. So you got to figure out at what point do you want to cash in. So in this case, you could probably cash in because you're declining, right, on a daily basis. But when you factor in your 4 hour, let me just see here. We'll just go down to 4 hour. You can see there's a couple of more. See, and it still works, right? And if I go 3 month, um, yeah, okay, we'll go back to uh, the 6 month. you can probably see in here for our chart, you can pretty well see it's the crosses on the entry and exit will be pretty near perfect, no lag, and making good cash. Try the D1 and Trend 2 and the code. I use a similar page for script by Chris Giuliano. Okay, so let me go to, do I do Bitcoin? Okay, so if I do, I get rid of this one. Okay, so you want me to load in, it has to be free or the code has to be available. So we are looking at DZ wine. I don't see anything here under indicator. Is that the name of the indicator? I don't see it. One thing at a time here. DZ wine MFI overlay, and you want me to look at trend. I guess this one. Okay, so here's the source code. Boom. Okay, cool. Working copy, add to chart, or update chart, add to chart. Okay, so there's something there. Go to strategy tester. So what was the profit factor with the SMA cross? I think it was 1.8. So the profit 1.2. Let's see the other one, 4 hour. Yeah, it's dropping. So no offense, but I guess that other one, the SMA cross, is better because you have a higher, much higher profit factor. Let me apply it to this one as well. Actually, let me just get rid of that and do copy. Okay, we'll do Solana with that same strategy. Okay, didn't bring it over. I'll look for that indicator. DZ trend indicator. I'm assuming it's this one. Okay, so there's our, because I know it was 1.8. So, forgot the source code. DZ, actually, I think, yeah, you can get the source code here. So here's the source code. Now we have to update the chart. Okay, so create a working copy, add to chart. I think we add to chart. It's the stupid thing's not taken. Okay, I have to start over. This is the joys of TradingView sometimes. Okay, so we're going to load in that DZ trend. Okay. So let me pull up the source code. There we go. Copy. Add to chart. There we go. Okay, so the strategy tester should work. Oh, this is an indicator, so I can't do the back testing. This is an indicator. I need a strategy. So no dice. But from what I'm seeing, is there a strategy you know of that I could test this on? But at the end of the day, what matters is the profit factor on a working strategy, right? And the one for the SMA cross is really good because now the problem here with automated trading and TradingView, you can't do it because it's a regulatory thing. I think TradingView does or has, whereas I've got a solution for it. Again, I'm not going to talk about it, but just go into my profile and you can get more info by visiting my resources, we'll call it. You just want to get on the email list and get my email and get in touch with me, or just message me privately. But that's what matters is if you want to get maximum strategy or maximum wealth, the Solana out of the crypto lot currently, even though we're seeing this, but you can see it's already reversing. Solana is a very, very good one long term, and compare it again. Everyone's going after Bitcoin, but really Bitcoin's doing what Bitcoin did in 2021, and I mean look at the difference, and it's already tripled, and that's what Bitcoin was doing. Like right now, I think Solana is as big as, which one did it surpass? It surpassed a big coin. Was it XRP and XRP or BNB? So it's getting up there in terms of market, share. So this is where you're going to make money. Now, if you want to go into forex, because we got a few people here, and apply the same thing. Okay, let me just show you the difference here. Everyone gets excited with Bitcoin. Okay, but if I was to compare Euro, Turkish lira, okay, I'm sure you may have seen this before, but this is like such a gimme. Oh, okay, so it's not quite, but let's say over 1 year, let's say 5 year, you can see here the euro is pretty close. It's half the return, right? But still, let me pull up that and we'll compare the SMA cross. Okay, so we're looking at euro, Turkish lira. Okay, 5 year. Okay, look at this, 4,000 to 30. So you're mushrooming your money. Okay, let me just show you that indicator before the SMA cross strategy. Okay, I just want to show you easy money out there, like easy. Okay, so we want SMA cross this one. Okay, so now pretty decent profit factor over that time period on a weekly basis. So again, I'm going to load in the source code, the Pine, boom, add to chart, boom. Okay, and there's your 1.67. Pretty strong. And look, right here, long, and that was back in 21. That would have been a trade for like all this time, right? And you'd be up from here at roughly 8,000. You'd be up at whatever this is right now, this current price. It's just, I don't know. People don't get it, but the SMA cross is the most reliable, no lag whatsoever. This is like awesome trade. So when you're like trading on hourly or even intraday, you're gonna take more hits on the commission because you're in and out. Your commission goes up, but this here would be zero commission if you're hanging on to this long in a position. Okay, and same with Solana. Maybe moving forward, I don't know. Since October this year, that could be a very long term trade if you follow the long term. So the DZ win, I never get it right, but still learning. The DZ trend cloud, but it's the one with most users. This is not a popularity contest. What you need to get is its profit, maximum return. And what I'm showing you right here, this simple SMA cross is the most effective and most reliable. Okay. Um, and you can see here, you could have a very long term trade over a couple of years and made, oh, I don't know, 2.5 times your return with doing nothing. Unfortunately, a broker does not allow futures or CFD. It's not the brokers the problem, it's the regulations. If you're in the US, you can't trade CFD. Also, if you're in Bitcoin futures, I did check it with Kraken. Virtually everywhere except in Europe Like Germany, you can trade futures, but there's so many countries you can't trade futures, like UK, Canada, US. Uh, just some really like they just added Ukraine. You can't trade futures. That says something in itself. Like of all places, why do people care about Ukraine if you're trading crypto futures? You know what I mean? Supposedly you can trade futures on Coinbase, but I wouldn't trust Coinbase in a million years. Just stick with Kraken. Um, and I was shocked. I don't know if you heard for with India, they got rid of 9 foreign exchanges, all the big ones, and yeah, Kraken was one of them. But they're so reliable. We only have official 6 exchanges in Ontario. We got Coinbase, I think Crypto.com, and Kraken. Everyone else, all the other brokers ran away, including Binance. So when you could trade on Binance, you could do amazing. But now it's really restricted. But in terms of opportunity right now, I think Solana long term is looking really good. They're talking about XRP and all these other ones, but I don't know, man. Solana is looking really solid, right? I mean, look at that return versus just Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Doesn't make sense, right? So, not saying forget Bitcoin, but all the attention's on Bitcoin. But Solana is the king right now in terms of performance. There's other ones, but the volatility is crazy. One thing I also learned today, OKX is dropping Monero, all the private coins. You got XMR, Monero, Dash, and Zcash have been dropped by OKK. Okay, and what that means is more and more countries and more exchanges don't want you to be on private coins. So that says something as well when it comes to control. So who knows where things will go with Bitcoin and Ethereum for control when the big guys like BlackRock come in with their CFDs. There may be benefits, but I kind of don't see it because when you look at what they did with gold, look what they did with the ESG. Actually, I think from what I understand, ESG is turning out to be a big failure for BlackRock. So that's why they're moving into crypto. Okay, but they already invested, as I said, into the 4 or 5 big miners on the Bitcoin Mining Council. So that tells you that BlackRock's going to have a say on where the future direction of Bitcoin will be, and it's going to be the same thing with Ethereum. They might not have the same control over Ethereum because there's no solid Ethereum miner, but I don't know. But you want to be where there's a free market. Solana still is, but once they bring out those ETFs for Solana, it's another thing that's going to be a problem. XRP is a company as well, like it's controlled, and they're trying to get into the big CBDC projects as well. So XRP, be careful there, just so you know. But Solana for now is a long term one. You guys got anything else you want to? We got quite a few, not a lot, but a few people chiming in. If any of you guys want to chime in, but I've shown you all the different indicators and the best ways to optimally trade with the advantages of the right strategy with source code and back test it with a strategy tester and look for that important profit factor because that will make a big difference, right? So anybody else got anything they'd like to add? Sorry, I trade invest stocks, not bit. Use Mara, Riot, and Coinbase, but sold 75%, went up 100%. Yeah, you did extremely well, Hitch. Yeah, so you don't want to get involved with Bitcoin itself. Here's the thing: what you need to understand about ETFs and crypto. This is really important to understand. I would never trade crypto ETFs. Reason being is we know that crypto is 24/7, right? Saturday, Sunday included, or Christmas Day. But the problem is with the ETFs is that they only trade during working hours. So they don't include Friday, Saturday. They may change. But let's say even if that was the case on Christmas Day, there's a huge collapse with Bitcoin. So if you're stuck in an ETF for Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can't get out of the trade until the next working day. So you're going to be stuck in that decline with the ETF and locked in. Whereas if you're on a traditional retail exchange, let's say like Kraken, you can execute your trade as Bitcoin drops. Okay, that's huge. That's really, really important to understand. Because if you're going to do the amateur way to say, I'm going to be exposed to Bitcoin, it's all fine and good when it moves up. But when you're like locked in an ETF only during working hours, because that's the only time to trade it, you're going to get screwed. Whereas if you're trading the real thing, the real McCoy, Bitcoin, on Kraken, let's say, you can get out of the trade right on the spot because Kraken is an exchange and it's 24/7. So that's the important part. People don't know that. People may forget that, and they'll get involved with Bitcoin ETFs and just get creamed if there's a major crash. And I'm sure there could be manufactured by BlackRock. So that could happen. Like have all these people, like $1 trillion, $2, $3 trillion, everybody locked into their ETF or a combination. They pile in, put in a good chunk of their portfolio in these things, manufacture a crash on a Saturday, and let's say it goes down 20, 30%, right? On Saturday, Sunday, and they can't get out of the trade until Monday, and they lose their portfolio. Whereas if you're on an exchange, as I said, and you put a good percentage of your portfolio in, um, uh, you can get out with an exchange. And I'm sure that's something they're going to do to scare people from going into crypto. I'm sure that's going to get manufactured. That scenario could be manufactured for all I know. But I wouldn't be surprised. Anything's possible. I mean, the current conditions of the market now and the world we live in. Yeah, so I'm blabbing here. Anybody else got any questions or concerns? I mean, realistically, I think this will be the last stream I do until maybe Monday, but Saturday, Sunday, I don't see it. Anything at all? Yes, no. Going once. Just type up whatever you got. Going once, going twice, going three times. I guess we're done. So thanks for joining. By the way, I stayed tomorrow, bill up 170. Unfortunately, was only 70%. Yeah, yeah. There's your problem right there. If I'm understanding your situation, what I find the exits. If you can't automate your exits, you'll hang on as the thing crashes. That's why my year wasn't that strong at all. So hopefully, once I automate the exits on open positions and just let it run, and once it sees any kind of flat moves or it goes sideways, because usually if it goes sideways from a run up, like you can see here, probability says there's going to be a decline, and then you're going to give back your profit. So what you want to do is have your entries, have a process that'll automate the exit side and watch those open positions, and just have some kind of metric. Once it kind of looks like it's going to either go uh, neutral, call it sideways, or decline, uh, yeah, just get out. Just get out. Don't ask questions, because usually if there's that indicator, it's gonna go down, and then you wait it out, and if you have a process on the entry side, then I'll take an entry again. But that's how you retain your profit and maximum profit instead of waiting it out, because that's what a lot of people do. Like I can get entries, really good entries, but my exits are suffering right now. Once I figure that out, then I'm pretty well golden. And in stocks, a classic example of what hints, ETFs as well. Yeah, it's good that you earn, but what you're looking for on the equity, like for or stock or ETF, what you want to look for when you have an open position is just always look at the recommendations from the analysts. So if you start to see neutral or sell, just get out. Just get out. And that's what I'm going to do. That's going to be my exit because it's those professionals that know when to get out on after your entry, because the entries work in my case. The problem is you'll get, like I had a position last week. Next day, it was up 3%, and then the next day it declined quite a bit, and I only got, I don't know, instead of 3%, I only got 0.5%. So if and I'm sure during that process I would have seen the sell recommendations and just get out. The problem is you got to automate all this. Unfortunately, you cannot do this eyeballing or one as a as an exit. And again, you don't have to really worry about um, technical. You don't have to worry about um, quant stuff, because what we're after ultimately is you want to take on low volatility stocks, the steady eddies as I call them, and you want the performers, the best performers, which you can use to factor your profit factor, looking at them through what I just showed earlier, and then use your recommendations as the exit. And that's as simple as it gets. And I think it works. Just so you know, I got another guy I talked to, a trader. He was ready to give up. He's been with me for a number of years. And he found something, and he put $500 into an Oanda account with Forex using the 6 major pairs in correlation. In 3.5 weeks, he grew his account on Oanda from $500 to $8,000 in 3.5 weeks, just by looking at correlations. So when it gets simple and it works, yes, you can do very well. And he did add, I think it was a 50-time leverage. So with the correlations, it usually works, and it's like an overnight trade, because there's a secret when it comes to Forex. A lot of people know this, but for those that get this long in the world of Forex, I was told this by a couple of guys on trading desks out of Hong Kong. If you look at the spread cost of certain pairs, like especially the certain pairs, like let's say the euro Turkish liras I showed you, those spread costs can be pretty high. But usually around midnight, as the Asian markets, namely in Hong Kong, start to close off, they do a lot of heavy swapping to prepare for the European, like London trading desks. So what happens is the spread costs come down around that time from the transition from Hong Kong to London, and the spread costs will come down because of the mass swaps. So that's the classic entry to go in for Forex, the high spread cost. And then they'll let them trade based upon correlation. And those correlations will start to drop off. And then that's your exit for the night. It could be 2-3 hours. It could be up to 7 hours. So that's generally how he's doing it. And it makes sense, simple. You just got to know the inside stuff. In general, buy low, stick it, and lock and see to side sell when you can never lose. Yeah, the problem is when it's like gambling, right? You think it's going to come down, or you think that's why I like using sell recommendations, buy and sell recommendations from analysts, because they're the ones that actually know, and they're kind of on the inside as well. So it's the most reliable, I find, especially for stocks that have good forward guidance, as well as low volatility, and using the sell recommendations. That's what I use. Anything else? Hitch? It's like me and you again. People come and go. I don't know why. I show all these secrets, showing all these things, and people drop off. That's okay. It just says something. When you're dealing with the scrolling people on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, that's what they want. They want the instant gratification. Don't work like that when it comes to trading. Anything else, Mr. Hitch? Yeah, I think I gave you my email in the private. Get in touch, man. Gets better than that, what I'm showing. So I'll do it going once, twice, 3 times, and we'll call it a night and a year as well. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. Yeah, Happy New Year. Thanks for chiming in. Have a good one. Later. And I'll see you by the way you're going. Maybe see you on the next one early next week. Over and out. Thanks.